All right, listener, I'm going to one up you, brother. Okay, so first of all, my favorite wrestler growing up was Rocky Johnson. Rocky Johnson was kind of a nondescript wrestler, won the World Tag Team titles with Tony Atlas, was known for a couple feuds, one with Magnificent Morocco for the Intercontinental title. He never won that title as far as I know. Sometimes I see it read that he's won it and he never won it, but that's kind of like wrestling in general, right? They call him undefeated when he wasn't undefeated, but pro wrestling, you make the image what you want. So I grew up on Jimmy Snuka, Cowboy Bob Orton, Roddy Piper, all of them, man. I loved them all. And in fact, let me help you one more. I grew up in Greenwich, Connecticut. My father was a rich criminal, John Peter Galanis. And who moved in when I was about 11 years old? Shane McMahon to a next door house. They were building a house. They're moving from Cape Cod, where the McMahons actually originally were from, if I got the story right. And they moved to Greenwich and they're building a house and they moved into our neighborhood to have a house while their mansion or whatever was being built. And I played with Shane in the neighborhood, right? Like he was a young bully kid, right? The tough guy. I mean, I guess he's the WWE heir apparent, right, at the time. But Shane was a really good guy, and it's funny growing up around them. Listen. I've talked about this in length on this show. One of the things I love about pro wrestling is what they were able to do. And boxing had to do it too because there wasn't time, like at a time when you couldn't see everything on the television. Like Jim Crockett of NWA Promotions made a whole world through magazines. So people were essentially living through magazines. If you actually saw the action the magazine was talking about, it was really ho-hum in a cheap studio and it really looked stupid. But through magazines, they were able to make people live these things. And every, I don't know, 4 or 5 times a year, they'd throw Starrcade or something like that, a big event where they drag people in because those people had been living through the magazine articles. And it was an absolutely amazing way to be. Now, boxing was similar. Why? Because there wasn't a lot of boxing anywhere. The big fights barely got a network TV, maybe only the main event, like on the weekends. And so you were living through boxing magazines. You weren't living through actual real life. So that's why, when people talk about pro wrestling and its carnival nature, listen, man, we are by our nature human beings. We want to be fooled. We want to live the dream. We want that stuff. That's why we love Ric Flair. Ric Flair was a nobody from nowhere who came up with this character. Ric Flair, woo! And he became one of the greatest stars of all time. So, yeah, man, I love that carnival atmosphere. I will tell you that UFC learned a lot of things from boxing, right? They shortened the fight so they wouldn't, induce boredom in people. They did a lot of things that boxing didn't do right. And boxing has some of those relic things still attached. But the most important thing they learned was from professional wrestling, meaning Dana White owns all those UFC fighters, just like Vince McMahon owned all the WWE fighters. And that's how the business model was successful for both of them. So, yeah, man, cool. Read my first book, Green Fear the Gladys Crime Family. We got Vince in there. I don't think Shane's in there for a scene or two. There it is, man. Like and follow for more on the fight game.